What is the difference between Pitbulls and Amstaffs? When it comes to dogs and dog ownership, it's important to know what you're getting into before diving in. And one of the most important things to have a grip on is the breed you're considering, because different breeds tend to have different needs. Our focus today is on two breeds that are often confused with each other: Pitbulls and American Staffordshire Terriers. Are they just two names for the same dog? Or are there real discernible differences? If so, what are they? And what's the best way to tell a Pitbull from an Amstaff? Well, let's talk about it. Pitbulls. The term Pitbull is one of the most overused words when it comes to dog breeds. As a result, people often find themselves in debates and arguments about what is or isn't a pit bull. To be fair though, there is some inherent confusion behind how pit bulls are classified in different parts of the world. In the US, for starters, pit bull can technically be used for any of one of the several breeds descended from bull and terrier crossbreeds popularized in the 1800s. These breeds include the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, American Bulldog, American Staffordshire Terrier, American Bully, and the true American Pit Bull Terrier. In America, all of these breeds fall under the umbrella term Pit Bull. In the UK, on the other hand, the American Pit Bull is the only breed recognized as a pit bull, and all others are regarded as pure standalone breeds, hence the confusion. So, to keep things simple, we will focus on the American Pit Bull rather than the umbrella group for now. The American Pit Bull is a medium-sized dog that was traditionally bred as a catch dog. Catch dogs are dogs that are trained for catching wild game or driving livestock with snappy jaws. And jaws don't get much snappier than the pit bulls. Medium-sized means that these dogs are between 17 to 21 inches tall at the shoulder and weigh between 30 and 60 pounds. Like with most dog breeds, males grow larger than females. Pit bulls also have very short coats and well-defined musculature, as well as a thin but muscular tail that narrows to a pointed tip. When it comes to coats, some dog registries are fairly strict. Generally, American dog registries only accept solid-colored, brindled, or tuxedo-colored coats, and dogs with blotchy merle coats are not considered pure breeds. Typical colors range from rust to gray to black and blue, with white and cream being common tuxedo colors. Registries also insist that coats must be smooth, stiff, and glossy for a candidate to pass as an American Pit Bull. Like other bull and terrier-type dogs, pit bulls have fairly short but thick muzzles engineered for intense bite force and holding on to unruly prey or victims. The breed is a result of Old English Terriers and Old English Bulldogs being bred together to produce Bull and Terrier dogs. Bull and Terriers were popular in Europe, particularly in the UK, because of their starring roles in animal blood sport. The gladiator-like games were usually bull or bear baiting, which involves pitting one or several dogs against bulls or bears, often with wagers flying left and right. Over time, animal rights activism and legislation made the use of dogs in blood sports a big no-no. However, players in the underworld focused their efforts on more concealed dogfights. Some of these bull and terriers were taken to the US in the late 1800s and eventually became the American pit bulls we know today. During that time and ever since, pit bulls have been used in dogfighting, though the law is winning the fight against organizers in the US and Europe at least. As a result of its lineage and bloodsport heritage, the pit bull's reputation precedes it. It is arguably the most notorious dog breed in the world, and cases of attacks on people, including owners and children, make the news far too often. Sometimes pit bulls even get the rap for attacks involving other breeds. This reputation is even translated into a law in certain parts of the world. American pit bulls are completely banned in the UK and a few American states. They are also highly regulated in at least a dozen countries. Some places require special certifications before important ownership is allowed, while other places, like Australia, demand sterilization of all pit bulls. Now, there is no denying the pit bull's history and capacity for damage. These are very robust, energetic, and powerful dogs with strong working instincts. There is no denying the data either. According to an infamous study conducted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, bull and terrier-type dogs and Rottweilers were responsible for 67% of all American dog bite-related fatalities between 1979 and 1998. This means this group of dogs killed about 160 people in a 20-year window, despite being far from the most common breeds in the country. Of course, many people who have had problem-free stints as pit bull owners have come to the breed's defense. Dissenters of the strict regulation of pit bulls often blame bad breeding, subpar ownership, and poor training for many incidents, which are fair points. Bold, powerful breeds are best suited to experienced owners who are assertive and equipped enough to train and socialize undue aggression away. Careful, intentional, and well-documented breeding and lineages are a must, and prospective owners are highly encouraged to source from reputable breeders. Many of the dogs that wind up making primetime news from maulings are usually the result of backyard puppy mills involving dog-fighting ancestry. The media have also been blamed for over-sensationalizing pit bull attacks and, as a result, cultivating a public fear of the breed. With the right breeding, strong leadership, socialization, and training, a pit bull can be as safe, gentle, and familial as any golden retriever. The breed is very loyal and eager to please. American Staffordshire Terrier. Another bull and terrier type breed, the American Staffordshire Terrier, or Amstaff, is another medium to large-sized pooch that is often confused with the American Pit Bull. After the introduction of bull and terrier dogs in the U.S., continued breeding resulted in dogs that were broadly recognized as American Pit Bulls. However, in the 1930s, the American Kennel Club, AKC, reopened its registries and permitted some of these dogs to be recognized as American Staffordshire Terriers. Staffordshire Terrier was chosen because early proponents of the breed claimed the dogs were direct descendants of bull and terriers from Staffordshire, England. As a result of this fairly new breed's selection standards, the Amstaff gradually became pretty different from true pit bulls. Kennel clubs describe the Amstaff as a good-natured, intelligent, and confident breed, which is the first difference between it and true pit bulls. Sure, pit bulls are confident and smart too, but few kennel clubs would use good-natured in a general discussion about them. Amstaffs are also markedly more mellow than pit bulls in general and are less energetic and eager to look for trouble. Physically, it's quite difficult to tell the two breeds apart because of their overlapping sizes and similar profiles. Generally, though, Amstaffs are a little shorter, with a shoulder height range of 18 to 19 inches. They are visibly stockier than pit bulls, and healthy adults can weigh anywhere between 40 and 70 pounds. Coats are also very short and smooth. Coloration also varies widely from black, red, fawn, and blue. Tuxedo, brindle, and patched colorations are also accepted by kennel clubs. That said, solid white or white-dominant specimens are discouraged. Merle coloration is not accepted either. There are also registry restrictions on the nose. The only acceptable nose color is black, and dogs with red or blue noses are not included within the breed. The dog has a broad, blocky head with a large but short muzzle. It's pretty bulky, but its muscles are typically not as well defined as the leaner pit bulls. The cheek muscles are pretty pronounced, especially in males. Despite their stocky and muscular frames, Amstaffs generally prefer to spend their time as soft, lovable family pets. That said, the breed still retains high levels of loyalty and courage when needed, and they will bravely put themselves between loved ones and perceived threats. However, some Amstaffs have been known to tuck their tails and run or hide from trouble. Amstaffs are generally good with families, young children, and other pets, but there is always a risk of aggression with other animals, even with extensive social training. As a result, like with pit bulls, interaction with other pets and even kids should always be supervised. Despite being recognized as a standalone breed, the Amstaff is often subject to the same regulations that govern the ownership of pit bulls. Countries like Norway, Turkey, Germany, India, Denmark, France, and several U.S. states have measures ranging from restrictive ownership certification to sterilization, breeding limitations, and outright bans. However, even in the face of all this regulation, the Amstaff is a common breed in many parts of the world. Owners love their friendly demeanor and love sponge personalities, while their formidable bodies have a desirable intimidation factor that gives would-be burglars and property invaders pause. If you opt for this breed, it's highly recommended that you have a sizable yard or farm where your dog can stretch its legs, play, and patrol. If you live in an apartment, the Amstaff is a far better choice than the pit bull because of its more laid-back nature. Of course, walks are an absolute must if you don't have a yard, because it's better for your dog to burn energy that way than for it to take it out on furniture and slippers. Walks and dog parks are also very important for getting the dog accustomed to strange stimuli and for the sake of socialization. Socializing such powerful pooches should be a lifelong journey, as this helps the dog gain confidence and eliminates anxiety while teaching that not everything is a threat. You should also know that Amstaffs are a little more prone to health problems than American Pit Bulls. They have a lifespan of about 12.5 years compared to the 13 to 14 range of Pit Bulls. The breed is also 40 times more likely to suffer from skin allergies and red mange than the average dog. The extra bulk also increases the risk of joint dysplasias in the hips and elbows. According to studies, about a quarter of all Amstaffs will suffer from hip dysplasia, while over 16% will experience dysplasia of the elbow. Pit Bulls are the better choice if you want to avoid some of these health issues. They are generally tougher and more resistant to ailments than Amstaffs, while their lighter builds means they have markedly reduced risk of joint dysplasias.